Hey designers, this video is an overview of master model technique showing you how to take one part where you have all of your design features and separate that out into multiple parts to put into an assembly. That allows for mating, for moving parts, and it keeps your designs fairly streamlined. So I'll share my screen and we'll get to it. All right, so this is the CAD model that I used for our demo that we had in class. So as you can see, I've got a um, our product with a moving door on here. Now, both of these parts came from the same part file that I used and called a master, which is here in the assembly I just have hidden for easy reference. So I can pull that up and make edits as I need to. I also have derived parts that come from that master part that are positioned in the assembly. So I'll show you how I do that. So let's hide these, pretend they don't exist, and I'll open my master file. So this is my master file. You can see my feature tree that has a lot of the major features that I wanted to incorporate in the part. Um, I'll go back and fix that fillet that I edited just to show that my changes can propagate. I think I had it at 1 1/4. There we go. So here's the part. What you're going to want to do is insert this part into a new part. So how do we do that? File, new part. You'll see that this is blank. So I'll go to File, Insert, Part. I'll browse for my master. There it is. You'll want to keep everything in the same folder so that your derived parts don't go missing. So there we go. Now, if I hit check mark without doing any of my location, it'll snap to the same planes and origin, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to do that. I'll also check to make sure that my axes are on and any other things that I'd like to use for dimensioning or mating. So planes might be something that you'll want to include. You don't necessarily need to bring in surface bodies because we used surface bodies just to split the part. So we don't need those anymore. So solids and axes at least is what we'll need. So I hit check. You can hit yes. That'll keep your unit systems the same. And I don't need to locate because I already did that. So great. All right, so here's both solid bodies that I have in my part. Now, what I will need, and I'll just hide planes for a second and sketches. What I'll need is to separate these two parts to have a body for each. So what I'll do is I'll go up into the tree, I'll make a decision. Let's say I want to keep this as my base plate. So I'm going to delete the body of my cover. So now I just have one solid, so I can treat this as my base plate. So File, Save As, and I already have a few of these in here, so I'll just name this base plate 3. Okay, so I've created a duplicate part or a copy. Now I want to make one for the cover. So I'll go Save As. Now I want to save this as a copy, and I want to open it because I want to work on it. So I'll save a copy and open. Oh, got to name it. So I'll do cover 3. All right. And you'll see in the top here, cover 3. So now I'm working on that. I can close the original document because I don't need to work on the base plate anymore. And then I'll just right click on this delete feature and switch out the bodies that I'm deleting. Now I have the cover and I can go ahead and save that. All right, so now I have two new part files that I can put into my assembly. And I can close my master because I'm done with that. So now I have my wall cut out that our product will go into, and I hid my original files. So I didn't get a chance in class to show you guys how to mate parts. So insert component, and I will browse in my tree for the new baseplate. And I can just position this in space. The way to put it where I want to is to use mates. So I will select a mate, and I'm going to turn my planes on again so that I can see my assembly planes that are over here and my base plate over here. So mating, I'll want to use coincident because I don't need this to move once I position it. So I'm going to select that surface, and I want it to attach to that wall. I can move this as I want to. I can kind of position that, or I can continue mating. So I'm going to take that right plane here and mate it with the right plane there. And I'll mate that front plane with, oh, now things are getting a little hard to see. I think it's this one. All right, there we go. And I'm done. If your part is fully dimensioned, then you won't see the negative sign here. Fully dimensioning means it's fully fixed. If it is not fully dimensioned, which is okay, it'll show that dash mark right there. That means that it has freedom to move. And for our door, that's actually what we want, so that we can swing it up and down. So I have that part positioned. I'll insert my cover now. I'll put that in space. I need to show my axes. So view axes. If you don't see your axes in the assembly file, there's two reasons for that. One, you don't have them visible like I didn't, so you show them. And the other reason is when you made your derived part, you didn't check to bring in the axes when you're making the derived part. So you can go back, edit feature, make sure you hit that check mark to import your axes. All right, so I can go back to mate. I can hit this axis and this axis and hit check. And now I want to select the right plane because I want them to pivot along the center. And there we go. I can hide my planes. And I can swing my door back and forth. So, hooray, success. The advantage of doing this style, this technique, doing master model technique, is that you can make changes in your master file and it'll propagate through your derived parts. So if I go back to my master file, and let's say I wanted to change the hinge location, right? I can go back into my part, I can turn on my sketches, and I see my sketch here. I could also find it in the tree, sketch 9 here. And let's say I wanted to push this hinge point out a little bit. Let's say I overbuild the feature, I can add some more material over here, and I can have an offset hinge. I could do that. I don't think it'll look that good, but it'll make for a nice demonstration. So I hit check, I hit save. I can go back to my assembly. I rebuild. I don't see anything change in the viewport, but I'll see it change once I start to swing my door, right? Now I see that that hinge has changed, right? My axes have drifted because I drifted my sketch. So you could imagine maybe there were like arms or fingers coming off of here that would allow for an offset hinge, which would allow the door to swing well clear of this top geometry. So that's an advantage of doing this technique. Everything updates into your propagated parts. So I hope this helped you learn how to do assembly mating and also to make derived parts from a master part. Um, Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.